Okay, here's some of the changes I made. To the basement, I shifted this little um, shamu ledge over. It's going to need to be off center so that it lines up with the pillars that are going to be having to support the deck. I pulled the deck out a little bit further after thinking about what that one guy said about 8 feet not being enough. I kind of agree. So now I've got it pulled out to 12 foot 11, 13 feet. And that doesn't take away from anything other than the patio, which basically just becomes more under than out. So uh, this is the recessed sort of conversation pit that'll allow this to be a swim up bar, and it will look as such. That would actually be recessed down in there. 3 openings equidistance and lined up perfectly with a big screen television. Eat in or outdoor kitchen and a recessed area for a refrigerator. Sort of keep it out of the floor space. Fireplace potentially over here. Door to the basement there. Mid-floor, I didn't make that many changes on. I pushed and pulled a few walls around, making this a little bit bigger. Again, just taking it one more foot from 8 foot to 8'10". Made this a little wider. Also made it 8'2". Took away a couple inches from the elevator shaft and kept it lined up above. Took a few inches away from this closet, still 5 feet deep, plenty big. This will actually be more open looking than it is by the drawing because, again, this flight goes up and then this flight is actually above your head. So you'll be looking through these rails right here. This one won't be here. In other words, this will be 8 feet above your head. I took a few inches from the bedroom to make this hallway a little bigger. At 3'8", it was just a little too tiny, so 3'10", even just 2 more inches makes it better. And it only took 2 inches from this bedroom and bathroom. I changed the garages to straight entries instead of diagonals. It was just pushing it too far into that area where the septic field is going to be. And I'll show you the look on it in a second, but I think it's going to be just all right. And then this one, essentially, that gives us back a 3-car garage instead of a 2 because the whole thing becomes shorter when you don't make them diagonal. And then I can make this garage just slightly wider and slightly taller than the others. So we could potentially put a lift in there. Still leaves plenty of sort of dead area in here. I mean, this area right here would be about, if this is 5, this is another 5. So this would be like 10 by 15 foot just sort of area for all of the junk that we never can find a place for in the garage. This still leaves it a nice little bump out so that this bedroom, it's 2 windows, could look out into a little like flower area or some nice looking plants here, and it gives it a nice look for the overhang. So this is what the first floor could look like. Again, a nice little area out here for some pretty plants. To make the front look nice, and also so that this person has got something pretty to look out their window. This garage could be a little bigger and taller, a little wider, a little taller, a little bigger door. These could be 9-foot doors, and that could be a 10, and a foot taller and 2 feet wider. So I could easily put my 250 in there, or we could even make it even the garage door all the way up to here, make it a boat garage as well. And then with the extra foot or 2 high, you could put a lift in there. And it also breaks up the roof line a little bit. So I did something a little different. upstairs, I kept the bedrooms still 16 by 14, both exactly 16 by 14, but instead of making Caroline's closet skinny and narrow, I made it exactly 5 by 810 or 411 by 810, just like Connor's. So it's the exact same, perfectly the same bedrooms, just this one's rotated 90 degrees out. This one's rotated 90 degrees this way. It allowed me to push this wider so I can put a true 5-foot tub in there that's 3.5 feet deep instead of 2.5 feet deep. So we'll get an oversized tub and make it a tub shower. And that still leaves 2 5-foot rooms here, but then the wall out in the foyer is nice and straight. And then that allowed me to center this as a nicer looking entry to our bedroom. So of all the doors upstairs, this will be clear that this is the master. And I put a double tray in here that you can't see from this angle, but this tray is stacked on top of another tray that goes another 6 feet up in the air, so that when we have a big chandelier up in there, you can not only see it through these windows, but also have it light up these windows. So when the upstairs chandelier is on, all 6 of these windows will be lighted up, and you'd actually be able to see the chandelier through these windows. By doing Caroline's closet, it also gave me an extra gable to bump out, so that it gave it a more interesting look out front. And then that roof line looks like that. Forget about all these shades of shingles and all that. I was just playing with different things. But then it allowed this window also to be nice and centered over this lower part of the roof. So that's kind of the new elevation, but again, we can make more changes still. But that allowed this ridge of this roof here to finish out absolutely perfectly with the edge of that closet. And again, don't worry about all these shingles, but it finishes out really nicely right up against the ridge like that. There would be a nice area for some plants and flowers. And I think we're still going to have plenty of room to get our cars in here. It actually tucks them back further away by not angling them, and brings it in so it's not quite so far, it's not so close to that field up here, where this is about where the field's going to start with those Elgin systems. And I put another roof over here. In order to get this roof over the patio, this one, I had to push our bedroom back a couple feet, but it really didn't take as much space as you think, because I played with all the rooms and just shrunk them a little bit, and it also helped really clean up the foyer. This was getting oversized in the last drawing. This was like